I'm Carly.
Hi, I'm Amos.
We are here today to talk about sex. If I knew how to edit videos, I'd put a big SEX over our faces.
Sex.
We like having sex.
We do. It's nice.
Okay, so we have some questions from you, like what boundaries we set for our relationship.
Yeah.
And we'll for sure answer those a little bit later in this video.
Yep.
But first we want to talk about that everything in life has a spiritual component. So even just talking, the way that I talk to Amos, I could be mean with my words or I could be loving. And you could say, oh, well, that's just breath coming out of your body or your tongue moving.
Right.
But there's something behind it. And
there's a heart behind it. There's a purpose behind it. That's how we voice something. That's how we create connection and interact with each other, is using our voices, which has a spiritual element, just like sex.
Yeah, so I think in our culture, we separate our body too much from the rest of our being.
Yes.
We reduce our bodies to objects, and I think then we're not seeing the full beauty of our humanity.
Yeah.
We're one whole being.
Yes.
So what we do with our body communicates something bigger and something deeper.
Yeah.
And in Genesis, the word, when it says that Adam laid with his wife, it was that they were fused together at their deepest level. So that was being known and being respected and being understood. That's what that Hebrew word means. It might be Greek, but I think it's Hebrew. So sex is designed to bless us and nourish us and connect us. And good sex is sex that serves somebody else. So Amos, how do boys think about sex?
Well, before we get there, I just want to reiterate the fact that, like, that is the longing of human nature, right? Is to be known, to be loved, to be recognized, to be seen, to be heard, to be understood. And sex is a huge part of that. We're giving such a huge part of us being known, to being recognized, to be shared. And to go back to your question about, like, with boys, how does it feel to be a boy in this whole sex thing? And, like, I think God just designed us different. You know, I think that guys are very visual, and they're also very physical. And then women really desire that heart for connection and to be a little bit more known and to be loved. Would you agree, kind of?
Well,
how would you voice it?
I would say that it's pretty the same across the board for men and women, but it comes out maybe in different ways. I think at the base, like you were saying, all of us want to be known and loved and connected.
Correct.
And I think that maybe comes out in different ways for men or women or different people at different times. But I think below any of it is connection.
And I think boys want that connection, or men want that connection. I would say boys. Boys want that connection in the physical, in the visual, I think is more natural and drawn right away. And I think sometimes we get in a really vicious cycle in relationships that's outside of marriage, where a boy will kind of give love or give affection to try to get sex, try to get the physical, and then a girl who's also in the same boat outside of marriage is trying to give the physical in order to get the love, in order to get the connection. So they're both going in this cycle that is very abusive and very using, like the boy's getting what the boy wants, the girl's getting what the girl wants, but nothing is in a way that is sharing and producing something that for how it was designed. It's very selfish.
Right. Yeah, and I think we just need to look at what are we hoping to get out of sex.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be I'm feeling lonely, and so when I have sex, I don't feel lonely. Or I'm feeling a lack of connection, like we talked about. I'm looking for that connection. I'm looking for acceptance. I'm looking for meaning. And just kind of, it could be that you're using another person to feel a certain way, to feel secure, to feel loved. And we, that's not the highest and best for us, is to be using other people to feel that way. So, like for a guy, what would be an example of that? Like,
yeah, like for a guy, like I might like a girl, care for a girl things are getting a little bit heated up, and I have
before you're married.
Before you're married, right? And you're just getting all heated up, and you're like, I want to grab some boobs because boobs are sick. I like.
He
boobs.
means awesome.
They're awesome, very awesome boobs. But I know that that's not all that. In that moment, that would be serving my pleasure because that's just something that I want. I want to take that because I want it, although that's not necessarily mine to take. If that makes sense. It's very selfish.
Yeah.
In the heat of a moment.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people ask, can I have sex? How far can I go before I'm married?
Sure.
And a lot of things in life, you can ask a better question. And I think in the realm of sex, instead of asking, can I have sex? How far can I go? How far can I toe the line?
Right.
A better question would be what will lead to the fullest life for me and whoever I'm dating.
Yeah.
So in 1 Corinthians 10, it says, okay, I'm going to read it here. I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive.
Yes.
No one should seek their own good, but the good of others.
So good.
So
1 Corinthians 10.
1 Corinthians 10, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I just love how that's phrased because we have so much freedom in Christ, and there is so many things that he has set up that if we just look at it like that's a rule, that's oppressing me.
Right.
But he's actually thinking like, this is what's so beneficial for you. I want to nourish your heart. I want you to have deep meaning and connection.
Yes.
So sin, that's a big word. In the Bible, it means missing the mark. And that can mean just not being fully human. So if I'm using somebody or they're using me, it's not valuing their humanity as much as it should be.
Them as a whole person, they're spiritual, they're human,
right.
They're everything, like valuing them as an entire person.
Right. And there's such a deep level of vulnerability in sex.
Yeah.
It's like, I see everything you are, not just the physical nakedness, there's that, but also like, I see all of you. I see all of your hurts, all of your pains, all of your flaws, all of your good parts. And I love all of it. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing you, and I love you. And so if you remember that word in Genesis, when they first have sex, it's fused together at the deepest level. So my thought is don't do something with your body that when your commitment level isn't that. So if you're saying with your body, I'm fused with you at the deepest level, but the commitment level doesn't say that. Sex communicates your covenant with somebody. And the promise of a marriage relationship is where you can take your guard fully down and feel so loved and connected with. It's kind of like fire in a way.
It's a lot like fire.
Okay, you explain the fire.
Well, I just think there's so much, there's passion, there's purpose, there's heat, there's things that create. You can cook with it. You can use it to fuse things to. Fire is just this amazing thing, but fire out of the context of like a fireplace or a fire ring. Yeah. It's used, it's contained, it's for its purpose. If you set fire free, it's destructive. It rips things apart. It damages. It doesn't help or benefit. Where God designs something to be beautiful and to be whole and to be shared, it's in the context of that. It's not a rule just for a rule. It's a rule so that it benefits. It's the same reason why we tell people not to friggin' play in the street or to touch a hot oven. Like, it's not because we're just like, just don't do it because you shouldn't do it. It's because there's love there and like there's reasons why we do those things. Yeah.
Like marriage is the right container for sex. It says, I'm seeing all of you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for the long haul.
Yeah.
So one question was, what boundaries did we set for our relationship. So when we were dating, our guidelines were kissing, hugging, holding hands. And why did we do it that way, Amos?
I wanted to do it that way. Hugging, kissing, holding hands, which seems super basic, but it was enough for me to show Carly that she was more than a friend.
Yeah.
You know, like, I can do so much with Carly as a friend and get to know her and love her and in a friend level, but the more I get closer to her, the more I want to be closer to her. Yeah. So I wanted to set boundaries up for her that in a context where I can serve her as I'm growing closer to her. I want to show her that I care. That's why I kiss her and hold her hand and all those sort of things.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want to go any further than that, because the more I got to know Carly, the more I cherished Carly, the more I wanted to serve her, the more I wanted to protect her, the more I wanted to make sure that in the long haul, she was honored and lifted up, because she was so valuable to me that I wasn't going to try to hurt her. You know, like, I had this context in the back of my mind that I was like, if for some reason we didn't work out, heaven forbid this didn't work out, but if it didn't work out, would her husband look back at me and be like, that fricker, like, that dude?
Or would he be like, this is awesome, you honored her, I really appreciate that you took care of her for that season of life that
yes, and showed her
you had a relationship with her.
If anything, he made her even just better by knowing me, hopefully. Yeah. And that it wouldn't be a pain point in her life. Like, I wanted to be a blessing to Carly.
Yeah. So another question was, how do you know you love someone and that you aren't just merely attracted to them or feeling lust towards them? I think this is a simple answer. You want their best. Despite your desires, you want their very best.
If you just want something to take something, you're taking something.
Right.
You're just taking. That's not love. Yeah. That's abuse.
So another question. What if you've messed up in the past? Well, that's life. Both of us messed up before our relationship.
We did.
I did things with guys before I had given my life to Jesus that I didn't love. And we have too much of a culture of shame around that. I want to say that very loud and clear. Too much shame around that.
Yeah.
What I like to do is go back to that girl, that teenage version of myself, and just see, what was she trying to get? I was trying to get connection. I was trying to get acceptance. I was trying to get love.
And value.
Right. And to just have compassion on myself for that's the reason that I was doing those things. So, yeah, I think...
And know that Jesus can meet you there. That Jesus wants to heal those places. Jesus wants to make us whole.
Yeah, and to just have compassion on yourself. Like, whether you were following Jesus at that time or you weren't. Just to have compassion on yourself. And to have the self-awareness of, oh, this is what I was trying to get. I was just doing the human thing, which is trying to find love and connection. That's what all of us are trying to do. So just have compassion on yourself and just know that God does too. I mean, infinitely more than we could ever even have on ourselves.
And he wants to bring you back to that place of wholeness, where he wants to take you to a spot where you don't have to live in that sin. You don't have to make those same decisions anymore. You don't have to walk in those same patterns anymore. But I want to give you the best, not letting the good get in the way of the best.
Right.
He wants to give you the best.
Right.
So today you can search out to have the best.
Yeah. And it's John 10:10. He has come to give us life and life to the full. Just that full and abundant life.
100%. 100%.
So thank you for listening to us today. This was super fun. If you have any questions, feel free to DM us.
Yes.
I also want to give credit to Jeff Bethke. Go search him on YouTube. He has such a good video about this. I'll see if we can link to it in the notes. But I just want to give him credit because some of what I've learned about this topic has been through him. So be sure to look that up on YouTube. So thanks, Alyssa, for letting us do this. We love all of you. Hope that we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, fam.
Bye.
Love you.
I love you.